Hello everyone. We are here to present a little bit what is the Organization of American States doing to support the training and modernization of Parliament in our state members. But I want to start to explain a little bit what is the OAS. It's Organization of American States. We have our headquarters here in Washington, D.C. And this organization works in 4 pillars. Is democracy, security, development, and human rights. Under the democracy umbrella, we have a section, we have important activities to work with and with Parliament and between parliamentarians in Parliament in the region, not only for the Western Hemisphere, unless we are working about the global, all the Parliament around the world. We are focused in 3 dimensions. We are working in training capacity for the Parliament. We are willing to support the capabilities and knowledge to the parliamentarians, advisors, staffers, technicians under the Parliament. We are working very focused in General Secretariat of Parliament as a key actors to support all the planning, the long-term planning about support any kind of activities or initiative to create more not only capacities, more training institutional levels from all the goals that the new technologies and the digital democracy present in our future or our present. And another dimension is to create the diplomacy, the cooperation, the dialogue between Parliament and between parliamentarians. So in that sense, we are very into support the work about the incorporation of new technology as AI or any kind of innovation project that can have the goals to approach the support all the modernization and to create a new ecosystem in the parliamentarian level. In that sense, we are thinking that in the way that we can involve more private sector, the way that we can involve more the university, the knowledge, the think tank, all the capacity around the world to work that can support this kind of effort would be better for the result. In that direction, we are working very close to Bússola Tech because they are a champion in this topic and to understand how they can deal with all the future during the present. At the end, the Parliament have 2 different responsibilities at the same time. In one way, they need to create a legislation, a regulation to support how they can deal as a citizen with the new, technology, with the new capacity to support all the goals that are in front of the future about improving the process, the great legislation to the representation of the citizens and the connection between different branch in the state, but at the same time they have to create capabilities internally, as an institution. And that way, with Bússola, we can create a very good space for interchange, for political dialogue, and for technical shared experience around the Western Hemisphere. But not only in that direction to create more capabilities in the technicians or to create more capacity into with the parliamentarians and new legislation. It's more to open the space for more innovation, open the space for more transparency, and at the end for better and more focused democracy values and principles. Okay, well, and we are focused our work together with Bússola Tech at the OAS in shared experience of how the parliamentarians, the parliament, and the staffer work with digital policies issues such as privacy, data protection, internet governance, cybersecurity, AI, and how they can engage all the global and regional processes in these issues. In that direction, we created last year 4 publications in the way to understand the better way how the AI can improve all the functions as a to create legislation, to connection with the citizens, at the end, to create more transparency in the way to show and to explain what they are doing. At the same time, we want to establish in the working group that is important to understand in the long-term processes how they can, as a parliament, back to be a more reliable institution in democracy system. And we make different kinds of meetings to share the experience in the format to create or establishment different kind of interchange experience between different levels of internally in the parliament. As a OAS, we want to put more attention in knowledge, in evidence, and support the capabilities and capacity as a parliament will be in the way to improve the governance around the region.
I would like to get some more details from you regarding specifically AI, and what do you see where OAS has invested its time and efforts in the last couple of years, and going forward, where the focus will be, given that OAS is a national, institutional, multicultural organization touching, working almost like a UNO for the Western Hemisphere. What do you think the focus would be as far as AI-related modernizations go?
Well, I think the most important part here, Rama, is our parliament. They are working so far in many traditional way, so they need to create more budget and planning to understand that AI or any kind of generative technology or media could be helped to understand that the processes have to be more accurate, more safe, more open to the people. For example, when we saw how is the Chilean parliament doing to create their own tools to understanding how the AI can support all the create legislation processes, or how they can deal with more capacity to understand how will be the connection between citizens and parliamentarians will be key in that way. No, for example, Chile is a very top parliament in the region to understand all the importance about the future in the parliamentarian activities. The AI can support not only the way they can be more faster in to create to support the function. No? The parliamentary have a 3 function: representation, legislation, and accountability. And in these 3 functions of the parliament, the AI will be helped to be more accurate, to be more clear, transparent, and at the same time, the most important part is about to create more democratic the values, understanding how they can avoid all the confrontational situation, ideology or political confrontation of existing right now in many parliaments. At the same time, with AI, all the archive, or all the process for the document, the library, the repository of information could be very more efficient for the parliament. And and you can use the AI, for example, for translate document, to create a space to have data organizing in the best way to understand what is happening in another country could be key at the same time. So in that sense, in the last 2 years, we put more attention to create a institutional culture about they can support modernization using more innovation and using more technology.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Having been in some of those conferences, seeing some of those demos of those institutions firsthand, I know. So, but again, as all of us know here, AI is a new technology, very powerful, but very new at the same time. And given the power and given the scope, it's kind of improving every day. But AI is not here to replace human functions. It's just to aid and enhance their capabilities. So, what do you think are some of the pitfalls uh, of AI, and what the guardrails your organization has been implementing to overcome those, to make it more efficient, more accurate?
Well, for us, it's two very important three or four things. One is to the commitment, the responsibility as a democratic institution the Parliament has to establish more innovation in the long-term processes. It's create only not the budget, is at the same time to create capacity, to create commitment, to understand the innovation at the beginning of all the kind of process for the modernization with training capacity is to think different, to open your mind, open your capacity internally to understand that the future is here. So you need to create more comprehension about how the new technology is your alliance for this. It's your ally for this. It's your tool to understand and to create more solution, more tools, more capacity. The second one is the sovereignty. You need to create the safe of your country or your institution, your democratic institution. You have to understand that the Parliament is a key actor as a political dialogue. You need to create a space for different point of view. You need to create bridges to the private sector, to the academia, to the civil society organization. And in that sense, our organization want to support that kind of culture, to that kind of way, to understand that you need to create more co-creation in the way to understand what will be the future, how you will to be in 2, 3, 4, 10 years. And the governance is another thing. The governance needs more technology at the end, but they need more commitment as a person, as a political. And our organization want to support that kind of way to support, to put more champions in the parliamentarian ecosystem to support all the governance tools in the democracy of the century 21. And the last one is the knowledge gap. You see that we don't have in our countries is the gap between people that are very close to the technology with the people that have any kind of the technology at all. That happen in many situation in our country, in the private sector, in the academia, in the people are in different countries. So the same happen internally in our parliament. The gap that the people know about technology with the people that don't have any access to the technology is huge. So we need to create more solution, more kind of initiative to put more together that other people and create more knowledge to everyone.
Perfect. Thank you so much. let me ask you this question, and we can edit it out if you don't want it, don't want to answer this. So, in this changed political landscape, what do you think would be the right path to get quicker returns on your investment in the modernization efforts? Because now the drive is to minimize waste and to focus on things that actually gets you the bang for the bucks, the return on the investment. What are the couple of things, one or two things that you see would be kind of top of your list in order to deliver the results from on behalf of your organization?
Well, this is a very good question, because I think right now the most important part in that sense is maybe be more open to create a space for real collaboration between private sector, academia, and government. We see that kind of example maybe in the executive level. Maybe some government have more capacity to create solution, to put more the digital agenda, the modernization agenda, involving another kind of another stakeholders. I think the parliamentary have to open more in that sense. We need to, because we have a very close budget. Is very interesting, because the Congress approved the budget for the state, for the governance, for everyone. But at the end, sometimes they don't have enough money for long-term internally project or internally capacity to understand how they can have to deal with the modernization processes of the long term. And in that sense, it's because they don't want to open the space for private sector, for example, to discuss, to create a planning together, and the way to put more knowledge as data, or more evidence to understand how they can deal with that. And maybe it's that they need to be more open. They need to create a different space for the collaboration, and at the same time, for example, in the Western Hemisphere, in the presidential system, no, the government, they don't have to be, or they don't have the majority necessarily in the Congress. So political dialogue, and to put all together as a state, and to understand that all the process about the modernization and the new technology, the capacity building, understand that you need to put more in the state agenda, not of the governing agenda only. So the parliament have to be a very key actor in that sense.